Mi nombre es Thomas Wong, soy originario de Hong Kong. Tengo más de 15 años trabajando con el mercado latinoamericano. Soy socio de la firma CWCPA. Mi firma brinda servicios de contabilidad y consultorio especialmente para empresas de Latinoamérica y España haciendo negocios en China. Contamos con más de 1,100 clientes, de los cuales más de 200 son de América Latina y España. También me gusta ayudar a la juventud, sobre todo a los recién egresados. He compartido con un gran número de estudiantes mi conocimiento práctico sobre negocios, y las puertas de mi empresa siempre están abiertas para que ellos aprendan. Ahora estoy impulsando el comercio electrónico a través de mi nuevo proyecto Mexcham CW, donde nuestros clientes de Latinoamérica y España pueden vender sus productos como café, leche, productos de belleza, etc., a consumidores en todo el área de la Gran Bahía, incluyendo Hong Kong. Just now I mentioned in my very short presentation in Spanish, I said I've been working with the Latin American market for 15 years already. So it will be, in calculation, it will be since 2006. So why I work with Latin America, because in business I always believe the blue ocean, the concept of blue ocean. Look for a new area, look for a new market, and where I did some research in the past that Latin America is very rich in natural resources, and where China has to buy a lot from Latin America, especially the natural resources. So that is the reason why I went to this big blue ocean, in the year 2006. I always believe in one word, un palabra, amigo, friendship. So, in doing business with China, friendship is very important. We Chinese, we love to have good friends, and we treasure always the friendship with people. And Latin America is very rich in family values and also very rich in friendship. And that is the reason why I took a leap of faith in 2006 and went to Latin America, because common values I can find in the Latinos. Greater Bay Area is now a very new concept all over the world, and we have been preaching and promoting Greater Bay Area to a lot of people, including to people from Mexico. Greater Bay Area, it's in the southern part of China. It consists of 9 cities plus 2 special administrative regions, namely Hong Kong and Macau. The Greater Bay Area, in terms of population, right now I think it's about 72 million. It represents about 5% of the population of the whole of China, 1.4 billion. And whereas in terms of GDP, it represents about 12% of China's GDP. And since Hong Kong is just next to the border of the Greater Bay Area, so I think that this Greater Bay Area will be becoming more and more popular in days ahead. And I see that Hong Kong has a very, very important role to play, and I would like to use this recording to promote this Greater Bay Area to a lot of my Mexican friends. This pandemic, unfortunately, it has impacted a lot of people all over the world, and especially to overseas businessmen where they want to come to Hong Kong and to China to do business. So one thing that it created a lot of challenges, you know, to the overseas businessmen is in terms of traveling. A lot of businessmen, because of this pandemic and because of COVID, they cannot travel to Hong Kong and China. But because of this challenge, I turned this challenge into an opportunity where I mentioned, you know, briefly in my Spanish presentation that I have now a new project called MHCW, doing cross-border e-commerce, whereby I will bring a lot of Latin American products, including avocado from Mexico, you know, to my e-commerce platform, where I hope to sell the Latin American products, you know, to China through this e-commerce platform. Because GBA is just next to Hong Kong, as I mentioned earlier, and GBA has a population of 72 million, and it represents, just now I said, is a very big amount of GDP of the whole of China. And I see that now there is growing middle income class people in the Greater Bay Area. So in other words, there is a already inbuilt domestic market in the Greater Bay Area. So I would strongly advise, you know, a lot of Mexican companies to come to the Greater Bay Area to catch up and to do business, you know, in the Greater Bay Area, taking the advantage of the growing domestic market in the Greater Bay Area because of the huge population. Talking about this, if I count, you know, I think it will be about 10 years, and I have a lot of Mexican friends in Hong Kong and as well as in Mexico. I have been to Mexico City. I have been to Tijuana. That was a few years ago. I took the route through San Diego to Tijuana, and then from Tijuana I took a domestic flight, you know, to Mexico City. And I remember vividly, you know, my journey in Mexico, which was very, very fruitful. In the last 10 years, of course, you know, with the growing presence of the Latinos in Hong Kong, especially, you know, the Mexicans, you know, I can see that the population of the Mexicans living in Hong Kong has been growing. And estimation, I think right now there is about 200 to 300 Mexicans living in Hong Kong. So, you know, it's becoming more and more popular. And of course, you know, the Hong Kong people would love to have, especially avocado, in drinking. They like tequila. My simple advice, you know, is to the Mexicans, always, you know, like me in business, you always have to be a first mover. You have to take action. You have to try, you know. Now, a lot of you know about Hong Kong, but a lot of you don't know too much about the Greater Bay Area. So on behalf of my motherland, I would like to extend my warmest invitation to the Mexicans, where they want to search for a new blue ocean, which is called the Greater Bay Area. They come to Hong Kong first, and perhaps my Mexican staff, I have 3 Mexican staff, can show them around, you know, in the Greater Bay Area. And for me, myself, I will make sure that I bring the Mexicans, you know, to a good Chinese lunch, and then I'll show them around, of course, not only in Hong Kong, but in the Greater Bay Area. So in other words, the Mexicans must give it a try this new market, be the first mover. In business, always be a first mover. Don't wait. Don't wait. This is my simple advice. Thank you.